Yes, folks, hello, welcome once again to MoDXtra Games and Collectibles. It's time for another collector thought on the sofa, which doesn't actually take place on the sofa, it takes place on my desk chair because I'm in the man cave today. Got to keep the noise down. The puppy's having an enforced nap in the crate. And this is where I talk to camera, hot mic, no script, no outline. I just grasp onto a thought that I've had recently and share some thinking on it because it's, you know, my collector thoughts. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to refer to and answer a question I've recently received in the comments on one of my videos. And that question is, Chris, how do you get your hands on your G.I. Joe Classified Series figures so quickly? And it is a question I've answered before, to be fair. I've made a video on this subject, well, some time ago now, and also had a great live chat with my man Conor over at Fuller's Figures on one of his live streams. I'll link to that video if you're interested to know more about that. But it's a question, actually, that has a short answer, but also has a more complicated long answer to it. And I think the elements of the longer, more complicated answer is just something I want to keep fresh in people's minds and keep referring to and just keep publicising. I don't think it'll make any difference, but it's just one of those things that I like to revisit every now and again, and the question gave me the opportunity to do so. So the short answer first then, Chris, how do you get your hands on your G.I. Joe Classified Series figures so quickly? The answer is they're imported. That's the short answer. They're imported. I've noticed on the back of the boxes that the vast majority of them seem to be coming, the sticker on them says Hasbro Hong Kong. So the vast majority of them are coming from the Far East. I'm assuming that the reason they get shipped out and arrive so quickly is because proximity, close proximity to where the manufacturing takes place out in the Far East. I'm assuming also that the supply chain shipping operation to the UK and Europe is faster, more expedient than it is over to the United States and North America. And that's your short answer. How do you get your figures so quick? I import them. But I'm not actively importing them. This is into the long answer now because it's a little bit more complicated than that. And some would probably assume, oh, ToyTuber, hustling, trying to get his hands on figures nice and quick and early so he can get his review up first, so he can shortcut to the front of the queue and gather those viewer numbers and get that incredible, that wealth of ad revenue. Which 2 points on that, by the way, incidentally. Number one, it does definitely help. I'm not denying that at all. Getting your hands on a figure quick and getting the first review up helps. While there are some tremendous, very loyal, regular viewers around these parts in the MoDXtra Games and Collectibles community, and I cherish and value those people, the larger audience has little loyalty. People just want to get their first peek. Number two, though, if you think we're making lots of money off ad revenue with these reviews, you are sorely mistaken. It helps, of course. It's a little bit of pocket cash to go towards, the running costs, like this little microphone I'm using right now. But don't think we're doing it for the money. Jesus. Fuck me. If you think we're doing it for the money, you are sorely mistaken. So yes, it does help. I'm not denying that. However, I'm not actively importing. I'm not going out to the Far East, sourcing direct contacts from Taiwan, Hong Kong, whatever, and getting the stuff shipped over to me. No, there's a bit more to the story than meets the eye there for us here in the UK and in the EU. So you may or may not be aware, this is the bit I want to revisit, but way back in 2022, at the back end of the summer, I want to say around August, September time, which now I say it out loud, I'm like, holy cow, was it really that long? But back then in 2022, Hasbro announced that the G.I. Joe Classified Series line was going to be a Hasbro Pulse exclusive in the UK. And then just a short while after, a couple of months, they made a follow-up announcement saying that the same would apply to the EU. So essentially, here in the UK and on the mainland in Europe, if you want G.I. Joe Classified Series, in theory, the only place you can get them from is directly from Hasbro Pulse. This sucked massively for a multitude of reasons. Firstly, I like to use my friendly local adult collector stores. I interact with a lot of them online through their websites, but I like to support the independent adult collector retailers. And the reason I like to do that is because their customer service is a bazillion times better. Their stuff like their websites, how you manage your orders on your account and stuff is just more comprehensive and makes more sense. Shipping costs are usually a lot more favourable. If even any shipping costs at all, there's a number of retailers that I use that'll give you free shipping if you're over a certain threshold and stuff like that, or even free shipping full stop, or certainly a lower cost shipping. And they're part of the community. It's just supporting a part of the community. That's another element that really sucked about that announcement back in 2022 was that here in the UK, and I think probably on the mainland in Europe as well, the growth of the G.I. Joe Classified Series line on this side of the ocean was very much down to the hustle and activity of these independent retailers. You know, they were active on socials, out and about, trying to get the attention of folks like me who are kind of old school Action Force collectors and comic book readers from back in the day who'd be interested in the 6-inch line. You know, they drove the line here over this side of the water very, very much. And then Hasbro kind of pulled the rug out from under them, you know. So for a multitude of reasons, I like to continue supporting the friendly local adult collector independent retailer. And I wasn't too keen on the idea of using Hasbro Pulse. Now, if I make an order with someone like In Demand Toys or Kapow Toys, both of whom are importers here in the UK, I'll get to that in a minute, then like you put your money down on a Monday, the box is with you on a Tuesday, Wednesday at the outside. You know, they're like order in, pick the ticket, get it packaged up, collected by their postie collection, or they go down to the distribution post office centre, whatever, by 5 p.m. on the day you've made the order, and it's in the postal system. And because Royal Mail's pretty good actually, pretty shit hot, it's with you on Tuesday, early Wednesday morning. If you got a problem, like I had an issue with one of my orders recently, and it was nobody's fault, it wasn't the retailer's fault, it wasn't my fault, it was just like a bit of confusion. I had some in-stock stuff ordered at the same time as pre-order stuff, and there was like a whole thing around when it triggers the delivery. I emailed them, and they emailed straight back, and they said, here's what to do. If you cancel that order and make a new one, we'll sort it out for you, blah, blah, blah. But then I noticed that the new stuff was out, the stuff was out of stock, and I was saying, well, you're currently showing your pre-orders as out of stock. You must have met your allocation or whatever. They're like, don't worry about it. We'll cancel your order right now and make the new order right now, and you won't miss out on that one, and all that kind of stuff. Just really, and all the pleases and thank yous and thank you for your custom and all that kind of stuff, you know, which you just don't get from Hasbro Pulse. And if I ever want to get my head around my pre-orders, like if I go to any one of them, like Comics and Cocktails, whole shebang, whatever, the filters to see what's going on with your orders are great, and you can open up the order and it gives you all the information, and Hasbro's just like bobbins. And the websites don't crash as much, and you're not dealing with a massive corporate entity where you got a live chat with some Joey who doesn't know his arse from his elbow to get you, he says, speaking from experience, to get your problem solved. You know, it's all personal care, and you can go up to them and say hi and see them at toy fairs and stuff, and it's just so much better, so much better. So anyway, not to be defeated by this absolute bobbins random fucking decision by Hasbro, these independent retailers decided to source supply lines from the Far East and import their figures in. So I'm not shopping with, you know, overseas retailers. I'm shopping with UK-based retailers who are importing batches of stock for G.I. Joe Classified Series over, you know. I am paying a little bit more, but I feel like the extra couple of quid that it's costing me for a figure is worth it to continue supporting these independent retailers, keeping them in business, going to a place where I feel like the quality of service is faster, more engaged, more, you know, actual customer servicey and focused on me, and grateful for my customers. Well, very, you know, thankful, and the interaction with them is always much more positive. You know, so the couple of quid doesn't bother me, and it's got the added bonus, you know, and again, I'm not denying it, the added bonus that as a toy tuber, I'm getting my hands on stuff pretty quick, which means the first peak crowd of an audience, I'm getting those views, you know, I'm getting those people in that's helping me grow my channel. So these guys have, you know, got up off their asses, been ingenious and industrious, and got their ass in gear, and they're importing stock. So we get it quick, which is also great, you know. I love getting stuff early, but it's just much better managed and just much better customer service overall, and it allows me to continue supporting my independent retailers. I can't speak to the situation over in the mainland, Europe mainland, and in the EU. Like, I don't know if there's retailers over there that are importing, but I do know my friend Conor over at Fuller's Figures, we were having a chat over a beer a couple of weeks ago when we met up at a toy fair, and he was talking about his Conor, I hope you don't mind me sharing, but I'm pretty sure you've shared this before on your own channel. Again, link to Conor's channel down below. Top solid dude, very much like mine with me, tuned in. So if you like my stuff, you're definitely going to like Conor's stuff. So get stuck in on that, folks. Highly recommended. And another reviewer that can give you another perspective, you know? It's like Amazon reviews. You don't make your decision on the first one, on the top of the reviews. You do a couple, don't you? So watch mine and then watch Conor's. Yeah, I interrupted my own train of thought. What was I saying there? Oh yeah, so Conor was telling me a story, like, he had his own little ritual where he'd go to his, I think his Big Bang comics he uses in Dublin. Shout out to those guys because they sound awesome. And he'd nip in, you know, he'd have a chat with the owner, chat with another couple of locals, pick up his pre-orders, you know, after work on a Friday, then maybe stop at the kebab shop, get himself a cheeky Friday night takeaway, go home, open up his figures, enjoy them. You know, it was like a lovely little personal ritual that has been taken away from him. You know, that part of his experience is gone. Now, I order the vast majority of my stuff online. I'm not very well served locally here, which is why I like to use UK retailers who ship and have websites. But I can imagine there's a lot of people who have just kind of had their experience affected because that kind of trip into your retailer, little nosy around on the shelves, chat with the owner and the staff and stuff, and just generally, you know, being sociable and part of a smaller niche community within that wider adult collector community. It's important. It's important, you know, and I totally was like, yeah, I absolutely get where you're coming from there, Conor. Totally get where you're coming from. Conor, dude, I hope you don't mind me sharing your story, but, you know, so I don't know what's going on in the EU, but I have got reports from my man over in Ireland there, in the Republic of Ireland, that, you know, it's just sucks. To reuse the phrase before, it just sucks. And we still have no reason for the decision from Hasbro. We don't know. And now they're talking about G.I. Joe Classified Series production delays, which is a whole other video in itself, which I might record a few thoughts on that, actually. 2 collector thoughts in a day, back to back. Oh, renegade. How long have I got before the dog wakes up? Anyway, I might do another vid on that. I have got thoughts on that. But now we've got production delays, you know, it's things are going to go even more awry. But I just wanted to answer the question. It was asked perfectly innocently in the comments. It wasn't accusatory or anything at all, or critical, because I know some people look down on folks who import their figures, and I understand that perspective as well. But it wasn't asked critically. I was like, do you know what? I'll answer the question, but it's also a chance for me to once again revisit Hasbro. Give the love back to the independent retailers. Why have you made this crazy decision to make Classified a Hasbro Pulse exclusive in the UK and EU? We cannot see any sense in it, and is it affecting our perspective of you, our experiences that we have as adult collectors, and our ability to support the people who you owe. You owe these people. They built some of your brands for you, you know? So it was just a chance to revisit that and, you know, make that call out again. Not that Hasbro will ever watch this video or care, but there we go. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you found my little rambly talk about the situation over here. But yeah, short answer, I import them. If you want to get hold of them quickly, you need to find someone over in the Far East. He'll send them over to you. But the long answer is that it's actually retailers over here who are importing them in the UK, and there were reasons for them doing that too. Reasons that sucked. All right. So yeah, thanks. Take it easy, folks. Hope you have a great day. Love to see you around these parts again for another video sometime soon. And don't forget, the YouTube algorithm is about to recommend another one of my videos to you that it knows, because it does all that kind of computer AI shit to understand what you're even thinking. It knows you'd like that video. So why not stick around and give that one a watch too? All right. Bye-bye now.